Hello folks, this is Devang, and welcome to episode 0, the starting episode of the Apple Turnover Gang. And here we have Pesto Pete. Pesto Pete is a cowboy, and you can see here the cowboy stats. He's got the 4+ range, 4+ melee. The starting ability I took with Pesto Pete is trick shooting, so when he hits with a gun, he can use a grit to hit additional enemies. So that could be interesting. A cowboy also gets a lasso, which is a once per fight item that can, rope an enemy and reduce down their attacks and keep them from moving. So we'll have to see if I remember to do that, but that could be, again, something that's very useful. And that is what we're going to have for Pesto Pete starting out. Next up is the lovely Beschamel Starr, who is a gambler. You can see she's not great at melee, pretty good at ranged. They got some tricks. Her starting ability is High Roller, so her to-hit rolls of 6 or better do +1 damage. And whenever she recovers a grit, she can also recover a fortune, which plays into the gambler tricks. The starting and default gambler trick is Fortune's Favor, which lets her use a fortune token to reroll any single die just rolled, even if it has already been rerolled, so that will be useful. Her second and random starting tactic is Tip the Scales. She can use a fortune token and make a luck test, and she can add or subtract 1 to the die roll based on the number of successes she gets. So that could be very useful, especially in conjunction with the starting gambler tactic. The final but not least member of our gang is Doc Hollandaise, who is a frontier doctor. So 4+ melee. My intent is to make him kind of the melee person for the group. Obviously, he will have a little bit of difficulty with that 5+ defense, so we'll have to see how that goes. But hopefully everything will work out, and he probably still have the potential for having a ranged weapon. To that end, his starting skill is Battlefield Experience. He can move through other models, and he automatically passes all escape tests. And he recovers 1 grit at the start of every fight, so that will be very useful. And unlike the other two, who both start with pistols, the Doc just starts with the Doctor's Bag, which lets him hold a bunch of bandages and gives him some free bandages, which hopefully should help keep him alive. But he's going to have to start with just his fists, so we're going to need to hope we can get some melee weapons, or at least even a pistol or something for him early on. But preferably melee weapon, since his range to hit is not all that great. Well, there you go, folks. There are 3 members of the Apple Turnover Gang. I'm looking forward to going to the first mission next week. I hope you're all excited and revved up too. We'll have to see how this group goes and how these very new and very different hero classes work. I haven't used them at all myself, so I am definitely looking forward to seeing how they interact. Mike said my plan is for the Doctor to be melee, but with that 5+ defense, he may be too squishy, so definitely want to get him some armor and try to bulk him up if I can. Then again, he may have to be kind of a hybrid or rely more on ranged, and I think it might be interesting to try to get a shotgun for the gambler, because that +1 damage rolling 6+, obviously you get extra with the shotgun, being able to hit on 6, 7, or 8s, getting that extra +1 damage. So that is certainly a potential goal there. So just some thoughts on that. I will probably just do kind of some random scenarios starting with this point until they get leveled up a little bit, and then I'll start working on some of the new scenarios for things like the Blasted Wastes and Tradara and the Derelict Ship, and some of those new ones that we haven't seen yet, and maybe some of the missions, the vampires and the werewolves. But that will be down the road. Definitely think I want to at least get them up to level 2, get a little bit of gear before you start worrying about going too difficult. So there will probably be some Targa, Jargano, and general mine missions. And in fact, we'll probably even, just to commemorate it, I expect I will probably even do, a little dip into the mines. Just the same old, the basic starting, Fistful of Darkstone going in. So that's what I'm thinking about. If you guys have a suggestion for initial scenario, feel free to suggest it. I'll take a look at it. Again, I don't want to make this too challenging for them without having any gear or anything. But we'll have to see how it goes. Said it's kind of an eclectic group of characters, and I'm looking forward to it. So, see you next week.